Hello all, this is DOZ 101. What a pretty interesting 24 hours it's been, hasn't it? We've seen Edge, the Rated R Superstar, come back as the 29th entrant to win the Royal Rumble. We've seen the beginning of the end for Legacy. Sheamus is still our world champion, and so is Undertaker. And we further have continuation of the Brett Vince storyline. And to top it off, Shawn Michaels, his character is about to take a very interesting turn. Tonight's episode of Raw was a pretty decent episode. I'm not really going to get into the chamber matches, but I will give you guys my thoughts on who has the strongest chance of winning it. But I can tell you that the opening segment of Raw was good with Edge coming out. It sounds like the way that Vince and Creative has this set up is that they're trying to get Edge over as a face, but I feel as though personally they're going to have a hard time doing so, only because this generation of today, being all women and children for the most part, in the PG era, Edge was mostly known as a heel, and they're trying to get him over as a face, and they did that when he comes out and cuts a heartfelt promo saying it's nice to be back, and I vowed to myself I wasn't going to be missing a third WrestleMania, and no matter what championship I'm challenging for, I will headline Mania. And then Sheamus comes out, and then he gets in Edge's face saying, "You don't want none of this. You may as well go to SmackDown and face the Undertaker because you'll just get dominated on Raw." And then Edge got right in his face. Sheamus clocked him with the microphone, and then proceeds to beat down Edge. And then Edge comes back with some good momentum and offense and then hits him with a spear. And that's all from Edge tonight. And then the Elimination Chamber qualifying matches, we've got Triple H, Orton, Kofi, Cena, DiBiase, and Sheamus. The Elimination Chamber qualifying matches weren't really all that great, so I'm not really going to talk about them all that much. The only two I really probably will get into detail with is Triple H versus Jack Swagger, which was a pretty good match, but Jack Swagger, I could tell he kind of had that sour look on his face when he knew he was facing Triple H. Because let's face it, we all know how Triple H is. We all know the story of the backstage politics and the whole Stephanie McMahon thing. We get that, so we know that Triple H is going to Elimination Chamber as a contender. And then Cena beats Cody Rhodes. The highlight was Cena winning and ending this match with DiBiase. He beat Mark Henry. With Orton and Michaels, they had a pretty decent matchup, but it kind of got ruined with the whole roll up thing. As I said in our Rumble review last night, roll up victories are tainted. They can ruin the ending of a match. It doesn't do so well. And, Kofi, he beat Big Show via disqualification. Big Show was all crying and being sympathetic. Yeah, the the Elimination Chamber card for Raw looks to be absolutely stacked with Sheamus. The odds are definitely going to be stacked against him. You got three heels, three faces. The most likely candidate to win this match, well, the most likely two candidates to win this match would be, of course, Cena versus Triple H, mainly because of name value and the fact that the fans actually like Triple H and Cena. But as time goes on into Elimination Chamber, I'll get more in depth thoughts with that. And I got to say, the Raw Chamber looking stacked. I hope the SmackDown Chamber uh, gets a good amount of stars, but it's not going to top Raw. But I can pretty much guarantee you that CM Punk and Rey Mysterio will most likely have spots in the Chamber match with Taker. So there's already a three. And then moving on, and another random wrestling related subject, real quickly, the Bret Hart and Vince McMahon storyline, the way they did it tonight, I feel as though it was basically a repeat of last time when they met. Vince and Bret were basically saying the same thing back and forth. Vince just played the total punk card on Bret, being like, I never really cared about you, Brett. You know, I don't know what these people see in you. If it wasn't for Mr. Perfect and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Ric Flair, guys like that, you would be nothing more than a mid Carter, which I feel as though this storyline is taking an interesting turn. And here's another thing which is kind of cool. They got Batista, who came out and he just, well, Brett started beating on Vince, and then Batista comes out, punches Brett in the gut a couple times, and then Vince spits in Brett's face, which this storyline, I'm not really looking forward to it match wise, but the story behind it is going to be great. I will give you guys that. With Batista, it's pretty obvious what they're going to do here is that Cena may or may not win the WWE title at Mania or at Elimination Chamber, but he most likely will be facing Batista at WrestleMania, with or without the title. I don't know yet. And also, the one flaw of the night for Monday Night Raw, the guest host thing with William Shatner. It was kind of cool to see him do, you know, the Raw match negotiator thing. It goes well with his Priceline gimmick and everything. And then they did the William Shatner's greatest hits, which I thought that was funny. He was singing HBK, singing Cena's theme. But the guest host thing, I wish the guest host really wouldn't have to follow a script. I want them to improvise a lot more. Like, I want the guest host to use improvisation a lot more as opposed to just saying, you know, as opposed to them coming out being like, "Hi, my name is, it's great to be here in some town." And then, like, the face wrestler usually come out and welcome them to the show. And then, like, the heel wrestler will come out, start chaos, and then the guest host makes one or two matches for the night. And they do these little segments with like Miz and Big Show and DX and their little made up office. It's kind of pointless, but you know, I guess the guest host thing makes the USA Network happy, and WWE wants to appeal to as many networks as they can. This has been DOZA 101 with random wrestling related topics, not really a Raw review. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I just felt like talking about a few certain subjects. Um, look forward to more in the coming weeks. And also, oh yeah, on a side note, real quick before I go, I got called out tonight by a fellow YouTuber, Cousin Cheeto. I hear that you've called me out, and you've called my partner Alvaman out. Well, on behalf of myself, with your little challenge, here's what I'm gonna do. You, my friend, can pick the day, pick the time, and let's go. I admire you guys, I respect you guys, but I don't think you're ready for me just yet. I may be underrated, but I'm gonna come after you. You've awakened the dragon. You don't want none of this. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to me reviewing SmackDown this week, and I might review TNA this week, so look forward to that. Thank you all for watching again. Peace.